Evan Narcisse and Jermaine Peralta bring Wakanda into the last Annihilation as M'Baku leads a small squad into Shi'ar space to help stop Dormammu from taking their planet, but will the Shi'ar's previous deadly run-ins with the Space Wakandans prove fatal to M'Baku's plans, or will he be able to quell the tensions between two factions? Evan Narcisse gives us an exciting space battlefield part of The Last Annihilation as we are filled in on what the Shi'ar are up to during all of this chaos. Of all of the Last Annihilation parts, this issue is the one that is probably most integrated into past continuity, specifically that of Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther book and everything he developed with the interstellar Kingdom of Wakanda. Despite needing some background knowledge on that run, Evan does a great job focusing it on M'Baku, a character who has lost his purpose now and wonders what will become of himself and his young daughter, a daughter he hopes doesn't follow in his footsteps and instead finds a less chaotic route in life. His no-nonsense style when dealing with Dormammu's forces and the Shi'ar thinking all Wakandans are the same was great, and him realizing that this is all sort of some type of trial for his new role as T'Challa's regent was really great, and it's quite a unique role for him to take on, and I'm looking forward to it, especially since he can use this sort of take no shit attitude to deal with the Wakandan factions in space, something that T'Challa hasn't been able to fully do thanks to his superheroic activities as king of Earth Wakandans, all that sort of stuff. So it's great to have M'Baku there as kind of like a king as well. Jermaine Peralta delivers some fantastic and exciting action-packed artwork that captures the scale of the whole event really well. I really liked his M'Baku spacesuit design as well, and I like how they incorporated the gorilla sort of man-ape visage in the helmet and body look. I thought it was a really great look for him, and hopefully that's something he keeps going forward as the regent of Wakanda. The Last Annihilation, Wakanda Issue 1, was a fantastic penultimate chapter for the Last Annihilation event, filling us in on what the Shi'ar and the Wakandans are up to during all of this, as well as putting M'Baku back on a new and exciting journey of his own that we'll no doubt see more of in the upcoming Black Panther book. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. The Last Annihilation, Wakanda Issue 1, finds M'Baku wrestling with the idea of where his home is after defeating Emperor N'Jadaka with Black Panther. Meeting with his daughter Zenzi and watching her train, he knows his name isn't his destiny, but wonders what will become of his child, and if she will choose chaos like he once did. T'Challa, meanwhile, is filled in on the Annihilation situation by Abigail Brand, learning of the pentagram drawn across the galaxies by Dormammu. Brand says that while the Shi'ar are too proud to ask, they are in need of Wakanda's help. T'Challa knows that it's not that easy since he didn't create the empire he commands and needs to culture harmony amongst the many factions within it, not to mention his earthly duties as Black Panther. He says that Wakanda will help, but he cannot himself, but he has someone in mind. T'Challa seeks out M'Baku, joining his friend atop a Bast statue as M'Baku tells his friend that he really doesn't like palaces, hence why they're in the mines. He asks his friend if it was worth it all to get the vibranium, but T'Challa knows the vibranium by itself isn't, but he sought the origins of vibranium, learning that the metal could potentially rend reality itself, and he couldn't let that fall into evil hands, and now he works to turn the Empire into something that helps, so all the realm can honor people like M'Baku. Later on, after learning what his mission is, M'Baku tells Zenzi about going off to fight monsters and helping people. He reassures her that he and Shuri, who will be coming with him, will look out for one another. Retrieving his armor, M'Baku joins Shuri, Manifold and Vibraxis as they blast off into space to aid the fight against Dormammu. Soon they arrive at Air, finding it under siege by the Mindless Ones, so the heroes get to work, aiding Gladiator and the other heroes of the Shi'ar Empire on the world against the monsters. M'Baku uses a new hard light weapon to push back the horde as Gladiator rallies them all together. Vibraxis shields the team as Deathbird voices her displeasure at Wakandans showing up to help after they fought her and her people. Shuri knows that they weren't those Wakandans, and M'Baku demands she accept their much needed help. He stops himself short of getting into Imperial business since they aren't part of him and he doesn't care about them. Smasher calms them all down, knowing that she has met honorable and dishonorable Wakandans and they are better off sharing intel right now. She shares the info that Dormammu was trying to enter this dimension by conquering 5 different worlds. She contacts Manifold for anything else, but the mutants is busy dealing with Mindless Ones and keeping them off the planet. It's worse than Manifold thought, however, as they are trying to take over the moon and turn it into a Mindless One itself. With no one on the team really versed in magic, well, Manifold contacts Zaravari, pulling him to the world and asks asking how they can stop Dormammu taking the moon. The old mage knows that dealing with Dormammu requires more Sorcerer Supreme type magic, but reveals the moon is being transformed merely because Dormammu is adding some spice to his plan. That spice being fear. He tells the heroes they can stop this from happening by not losing, so Gladiator rallies the Wakandans and the other heroes in a bid to banish fear, taking the fight directly to the moon and to the horde of mindless ones there. Despite the overwhelming odds, M'Baku continues to fight, unleashing his vibranium hard light blasts on the villains, but knows the moon is lost. He leaves Vibraxis and Manifold to escape as he and Shuri fly away, with M'Baku hatching a plan, but only if they can back him up. M'Baku has Manifold teleport them to planet Bast, where they meet with Captain Taku, telling her that they need the Empire's help in getting a Cuckoo Array, a vibranium satellite network that can shake planets to death. M'Baku knows that it was last used on Deathbird's people, and it's why she hates the Wakandans. M'Baku wants the array to be reprogrammed to protect the planet and absorb the energy from the mindless ones that are firing at it. Vibraxis knows that they would have lost the moon by now, and M'Baku is counting on it. Gladiator and Smasher evac the last of the people, but learn the Wakandans are gone. Deathbird thinks that they are cowards and have betrayed them, but soon a Wakandan cruiser arrives above the planet, deploying the array around it. Deathbird demands to know what they are doing with an illegal weapon, so M'Baku goes on to explain, but he is immediately attacked by the Shi'ar. While they battle, the moon fires on the planet and the array protects the world. Shi'ar are shocked to see that a planet killer has been turned into a planet saver, as Shuri knows that they don't have much time, since the vibranium and magic don't mix well. The mindless ones suddenly attack the satellites, dropping the shield's effectiveness. Shuri gets to work on energy analysis to send the monsters home, but her countermeasures soon fail. She knows that there is nothing they can do when suddenly T'Challa and Storm arrive on their own cruiser, with Aurora offering Shuri some Mysterium, which resonates well with magic and can be used in her analysis. She directs the team to begin modifying the array as Black Panther and Storm join the battle in the name of Wakanda and of life. Soon they beat the final mindless ones as Manifold is hit by a blast. M'Baku tells Shuri to get to the ship as he grabs Eden, tackling him through one of his portals and activating the array, sending the mindless ones home once and for all. In the after party, T'Challa and M'Baku talk about how this wasn't meant to be some type of test. T'Challa knows that he will always need to split time between Earth and the Intergalactic Empire, but he needs to ask M'Baku for more, wanting him to become his regent. M'Baku knows that he never will bow and scrape to T'Challa, and the hero is glad he won't, as M'Baku accepts the role. Told today he has shown two empires how trying the impossible can change the universe, so they need to keep trying that.